Hey, what is up guys? Shady Wags with GotchaBat Gaming here, and this video is going to be a little different than any of the other videos I've done before. Most of the videos have been strategy, tips, tricks, reviews, and some lighthearted gameplay with my friends. There will still be some tips in this video, but I want to talk about a serious subject, and that's cheating. Every time the next big FPS title is announced, me and all my friends, we get really stoked leading up to launch. We pre-order, we follow all the pre-launch news, and we wait anxiously to get our greedy little hands on it. Finally it releases, and then we play the hell out of it the first week. Spirits are up, we're laughing, and we're having a good time, but it never fails. Eventually, I start hearing grumbling. I start hearing the words cheater, hacker, aimbotter. The complaints became more frequent and start spreading like a cancer through our group. Before I know it, everyone I started playing with has left the game. And I know for a fact this is not just limited to my group of friends. I see the same complaints on message boards, YouTube, and Reddit. Are there people really cheating and exploiting, or is it a matter of players just getting better and the competition is raised? Is it the person that's complaining is just being salty, or is there something else going on? I want to go through some of these situations that I've been involved in on the good end and the bad, try to explain them, and give you a couple tips along the way. First thing, are there people cheating on Battlefield 1? 100% yes, especially on PC. It's well documented that cheats exist on PC FPS games. Aimbot, wallhack, whatever you want to call it, has existed on PC for a long time. An aimbot, which is sometimes called auto-aim, is a type of program used in multiplayer first-person shooter games to provide the player with varying levels of automated target acquisition. Aimbot's most common in first-person shooter games. They do exist in other game types though, and they're sometimes used along with a trigger bot, which shoots automatically when an opponent appears within the field of view. Wallhacks, or ESP, allows the user to see the locations of all players on the map along with other information such as health, class, loadout, and distance, even through objects. Is there aimbotting and wallhacking on PS4 and Xbox One? I like to think no, but honestly, I can't be 100% sure. Every console up to this generation has been hacked and exploited. All information, though, right now points to that the PS4 and the Xbox One have not yet been hacked. Now, if either one of them have been hacked, then that hack has not been publicly or commercially released. So I would say if there are people aimbotting and wall hacking on consoles, then it's not that large of a number. Now, that does not mean that there are not people cheating on console. There are two 100% confirmed ways that people cheat. The first one is by creating artificial lag by means of a lag switch. In peer-to-peer gaming, lagging is what happens when the stream of data between players gets slowed down or interrupted. This causes movement to stutter and makes opponents appear to move erratically. By using a lag switch, a player is able to disrupt the upload from their client to the server while their own client queues up the actions performed. Their goal by using a lag switch is to gain an advantage over another player without reciprocation. Opponents slow down or they stop moving, allowing the lag switcher to easily outmaneuver them. From the opponent's perspective, the player using the lag switch may appear to be teleporting, invisible, or invincible. Now, the next way that players cheat may be a bit controversial. Modded controllers. Some people do not feel that modded controllers are cheating at all. In fact, they don't even think they are unsporting. Now, in my opinion, using a modded controller to increase the fire of a weapon or macro a button combination is just as much cheating as the other tactics. Modded controllers can make a bad player good, and it can make a good player unstoppable. If it's any one of these cheating tactics that kill me the most, it's modded controllers. And you see this a lot in Battlefield 1 with players using the medic class or with players running around using pistols. But I mean, do you really blame someone for using a modded controller? You can buy them at GameStop and Best Buy. So they can't really be cheating, can they? If we look at Microsoft's Code of Conduct, it clearly states it is a bannable offense to use unauthorized hardware or software to cheat or tamper. Sony's Code of Conduct states pretty much the same thing, that it is a bannable offense to use software or devices to cheat, hack, damage, or exploit. And finally, if we look at EA's terms of service, they also state it is a bannable offense to use or distribute unauthorized software programs, tools such as auto software programs, macro software programs, cheat utilities, applications, exploits, cheats, or any other game hacking, altering, or cheating software or tool. Now, what exactly is Microsoft, Sony's, and EA's stance on modded controllers? I received the same response from all three companies, that modded controllers are not authorized, they are viewed as cheating, and can lead to a permanent ban. I have never owned or used a modded controller, and what kind of burns me up is I've seen some YouTube gaming channels, and some of these channels have millions of subscribers, and they're using and promoting modded controllers. Of course, because they get a commission on sales. But what kills me is in their videos, they're running around owning other players like you and me, and then they have the audacity to act like they're the best players in the world. Well, no, we've already determined that you are a cheater. So in reality, all those kills you made with that controller, well, they didn't count. The issue with modded controllers is as fast as that gun fires, you can't prove that someone is using a modded controller, and you can't stop them from doing it. You could call them out, but what you're going to get is the same response every time. I can hit the button pretty fast. I wish I had $1 every time I heard that. You can try reporting them, but regardless of what Microsoft and Sony states in their terms of service, the chances of them banning someone for using a modded controller is slim to none. Where the responsibility should fall is on the game developer. They need to put countermeasures into the game that prevents guns from firing past a certain rate of fire. I don't care if you can push the button faster than this rate allows. This would level the playing field and make modded controllers obsolete. Let's look at some of those moments that could be interpreted but are not necessarily cheating. When you shoot a player and he does not die, or you start shooting at him first, you're getting hit markers and then he kills you. Or he's in front of you, then he disappears, he teleports him back to you and kills you. Again, this is either natural or artificial lag. Now, just because this happens does not mean that specific player is cheating. He possibly could just be the beneficiary of server lag or lag someone else is creating. And I have been the beneficiary of this before. I can recall one match where I was running around with a shotgun. I would shoot players, and then a good 2 seconds later, they would die. The entire match, no one could kill me even though they were shooting at me. I was obviously the beneficiary of lag, and it was not lag that I was creating. Now, on the flip side, I have had plenty of games where it just seemed like I could not buy a kill. I would see a player in front of me with their back to me and begin firing on them, and I just could not kill them. And it was just not one player. This was everyone on the other team. And in those instances that I saw this happening, I would leave the match and join another server, and that seemed to clear it up. If it did not clear up, then I would reboot my modem and router and then join the server again. Okay, the next one. You're hiding in your super special spot, and a guy runs in right to that spot and kills you. Just like he knew you were there. This could have been 100 different things. It could have been dumb luck. It may have been an instance where someone had killed this guy on that map before, so now he always goes to that spot first. It could be you killed someone else during that match, and it might have been one of his squad mates, and he told them you were there. There could be a spotting flare on the ground outside, right next to the building you're in. you were spotted prior to going into the room and the spot has not dropped. Basically, this could be 100 different things, but cheating is not one of them on console. How did he shoot me? How did his gun move to me so fast? Generally, just situations where you don't think the other player could have targeted you that quickly because his gun was not pointing at you. Battlefield 1 has aim assist, and it's turned on by default. It works in this manner. If you're looking in the general direction of an enemy player, and then you aim down the sight or scope, your weapon will automatically snap to that player. Aim assist is in a lot of FPS titles, and it has been for some time, but in Battlefield 1, it's pretty strong, giving you almost 2 feet of leadway to the left, to the right, and above an enemy. Take this in mind next time you see someone snap right to you. Kill cam shows him shooting me through a wall, through a hill, through a tree, whatever, through something. The difference between a Call of Duty kill cam style and Battlefield style is that Call of Duty is recording the actions of all players that took place up until the point you were killed, and it plays back a portion of the action that took place prior to your death up till the point you died. Battlefield 1 shows you the action after you died in the vicinity of that player that was credited with the kill. This can result in some very misleading conceptions. What happens in the time that player kills you to the time you are shown his location is not necessarily where he was. A lot can change in that 1 or 2 seconds. Another issue is you're not seeing the camera angle that player is using. This may not even be the guy that was shooting at you in the first place. The guy that did the majority of the damage may have got killed. This guy just fired a random bullet and hit you. So don't rely on that kill cam because sometimes it paints an inaccurate picture of what happened. There is no way he saw me. I hear this a lot, and the reason is in Battlefield 1 and almost all the prior Battlefield titles, you can't be spotted, and that marks you for the other team, so you stick out like a sore thumb. And a big issue with Battlefield 1 is it is so easy to spot players. You could spot them from across the entire map, and you don't even have to have your gun sight right on them. You just have to scan the screen and spam the mark button. That makes this extremely overpowered, and it's a pretty good assumption if you're playing on a map and you're not inside a structure, then you're probably marked. And I would guess you're marked at least 50% of the match. I think DICE handled this much better in previous installments of Battlefield, and most of them you had to leave the gun sight on the player for a short period of time. In Battlefield Vietnam, you had binoculars that were used to mark targets, and I could be mistaken, but I believe that in one of the prior Battlefields, only the sniper class could mark. Another issue is spawn camping. I spawn in and a guy shoots me. Some people actually do take the time to try to attempt to kill people when they spawn in. And in Battlefield, this is allowed. This is a good example of spawn camping. This guy set himself up on a roof, and as soon as both me and 10 Gauge spawn in, he shoots us both. Now, I try to deal with this with the wrong approach, by spawning back on the objective again, thinking I can get him. And he gets me again. 10 Gauge, on the other hand, makes the right choice by spawning to a point further away. He then mortars the roof. By this time, this guy's told all his buddies how many kills he's getting from this spot, and 10 Gauge collapses the roof and gets 4 kills. A lot of times in Battlefield, it's about how you're going to react to a situation, and then how do you respond to that situation. I did not react or respond correctly, and 10 Gauge obviously did. Spawn trapping, this is also a legal tactic. Battlefield 1 gives you all the necessary tools to break out of that spawn trap, such as mortars and tanks. So it's up to your team to use that equipment to break out of that spawn. I shot and killed a guy, and his squad mate spawned on him after he was dead and killed me. This is an issue with Battlefield 1 because I've actually done this. Here in this example, 10 Gauge is already dead. He's told me he's dead, and he's told me 2 guys were shooting at him. I still am able to spawn in on his dead body, and at this point the 2 players have continued down the trail, and I shot them in the back. That is a Battlefield 1 issue. You should not be able to spawn in on a squad mate when they are under fire or dead. Now, I think that about sums up most of the issues you will encounter on Battlefield 1. We now know 100% there is cheating on the PC version in every form. On console, players do use lag switches and modded controllers, but most of the other bullcrap you encounter on consoles that is called out for being cheated can be explained and is legitimate gameplay. As far as the players that are cheating, the question I'm sure for some of you is, why do they do it? I read an article a while back where they actually talk to people who cheat or who have cheated in video games, and primarily there were 2 answers. The first one was, I wanted to get better and I felt like this was not hurting anyone, it was harmless. The same people that gave this reason also could not accept the rationale that they were in fact negatively affecting others and they were not getting better because their better gameplay was in fact artificially fabricated. And the number 2 reason for cheating was, I'm not really playing the game seriously, I just play the game using cheats because I enjoy pissing people off. If you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching. I promised you some tips on how you can advance your gameplay, and one of those is by turning on Uniform Soldier Aiming. If you go to Options, Controls, and scroll over to Advanced, that's where that's located. You want to go ahead and switch that to On. If you've ever switched guns and you notice that the aiming just feels different from gun to gun, well, it is different. By turning on Uniform Soldier Aiming, this will adjust all your weapons to use the same sensitivity. If you would like a more detailed guide on Uniform Soldier Aiming, I will post a link in the description, and that will go into much more detail. Another setting that may help is by increasing your field of view, which can be changed under video options. The default option is set at 55. I believe most FPS games have this set to 60, and I find if I set this around 75, it is enough to help, but not enough to make things too distorted for me. So this is a number you're going to need to mess with to get the setting that feels right for you. I hope you found the information in this video useful, and I hope it does clear up some misconceptions about what is legit gameplay and what is not. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like button, and until next time, have a good one.